Welcome to another episode of Gin and Scotch. A very special episode. We just got done watching Mac Sabbath.
Transcendent. Religious experience.
Right?
For sure.
One of the best shows ever.
Oh my goodness.
But before all that, if you've been joining us, before you pass out, hit the like and share button.
Yeah, right.
Hey, cheers, my brother.
Cheers.
And what are you drinking tonight?
I'm not drinking scotch. I am drinking whiskey. But because it's Mac Sabbath, I didn't want to go too highfalutin. So we're drinking Balls of Fire, Fireball, cinnamon whiskey. And when you absolutely positively have to get drunk on $10, this is the whiskey to buy.
That was probably my biggest complaint of the night. Was that just 2 drinks?
Yes.
For $40.
2 drinks for $40. I had the exact same experience when I bought a round for you.
I was like, oh.
Right.
Oh. So basically, this is how you're doing us dirty now. And I won't say I'll never go back to Strummers again. But I know buying retail bottles of booze.
Yeah.
And I buy high-end gin.
Yeah.
There's no way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I had the same experience.
So fucking overpriced.
I went to the Fillmore once, and I ordered a Black Label, which is second from the bottom, right? And I ordered a Black Label whiskey, and they're like, that'll be $14. And I was like, you know the whole bottle is $28, right? And they're like, yes, sir, but you wouldn't have the privilege of drinking it at the Fillmore. And I was like, y'all are full of shit.
Right, exactly. I'm like,
this is bullshit.
Like this is well vodka and soda. Like this isn't anything fancy.
Right.
I can.
No, I'm trying to help you out, but throw me a bone here.
Right. It's like, oh, okay. And I think the reason why they do it, one is they make the same amount of money at the bar per night, but people drink less because nobody can afford $40 of drinks.
Yeah, I don't think I would have done the third round.
Oh, definitely. I was like, I've got a bar at home.
The pours were deep.
No.
I was watching them pour that, and it was just like, okay, well, at least it's kind of worth it.
Actually, it was kind of funny. So the first round that we got, we dusted the bottle. They're like, oh, we're out of the Hendrix, so we have to. We're going to give you Tanqueray. I'm like, all right, that's sure, whatever. Right. I went back and I was like, all right, well, you obviously have shit gin, so I'll just go with a Tito's and a Red Bull. And he grabs the Tito's bottle and he goes, oh, it's empty. I'm like, I'm killing your bottles tonight? Come on, man. I'm ordering this fucking.
Yeah, right.
Prices for the booze was way bloated.
A bit bloated, yeah.
That is not measurable to what's going on with inflation.
No.
It was ridiculously
kind of
out of control. That, ladies and gentlemen, is called a shakedown.
Shakedown.
Okay, they might as well.
What's in your pockets, blood?
But getting back to the band, so they opened with a Life Jacket.
Life Jacket.
Right.
I felt like they were a kind of boilerplate, major scale punk band.
Right.
Like a 90s punk that had already been sort of popularized, and it was just, there wasn't anything dark about them. They were just there to have fun, right?
Right.
So the lead singers were singing back and forth, which is like one of my favorite things about punk bands when they go back and forth, the guitar player and the bass player. I thought that was awesome.
Well, apparently the lead singer was sick because he kept complaining about coughing phlegm on everybody.
Yeah, it was total spreader event. Like a super spreader. Like everyone's going to have COVID tomorrow.
And then he's like, oh, and there's like a 4th person in the band, but he couldn't make it tonight. I was like, why? Does he got the flu back at the hotel room?
Yeah, like if you're already infected, what's wrong with him? Like, did he turn into a zombie already?
And the thing is, Life Jacket wasn't even supposed to play. Like, Life Jacket wasn't supposed to play. It was supposed to be the Geezers.
Right.
So there's no geezers.
They all died. That's what's up with their program.
They're shambling down at the hair.
Seriously.
I need a T-shirt that says, I went on a road tour and all that happened was turned into the undead.
Right. Yeah, but Life Jacket was cool. I thought they encapsulated the genre just fine, and
you said punk, and I was like, it's more like easy rock, like.
Well, it's all the punk rhythms,
right,
with just like major scale pop sensibilities. Like if the Beatles had become punk at some point, that's what Life Jacket was.
I was kind of waiting for them the whole time to start talking about Jesus Christ and how they're saving. I mean, first off, the name is called Life Jacket.
I used to get so loaded on Smack, but now that I have Jesus in my life, we're just about Life Jacket.
This next song is called Salvation.
Oh my God, that's so true. Like, it would not have been out of character for them at all.
They looked like the cookie cutter.
Yeah,
I'm a youth pastor, and I'm here to sing.
He had the hat that kind of curved up a little bit, and you're just like, okay, like, did you put that in the steamer in the closet? Like, how did you get it to look like that?
Yeah.
They didn't seem particularly authentic.
No.
As opposed to the headliner, who had been cultivating this look for, I don't know, 20 years? Like, how long has Mac Sabbath been around? I haven't even looked.
So, I purposefully, as soon as I saw them, like, look, man, I love Weird Al.
Right. Both of us do.
I love parody music. As soon as I saw them, I'm like, I'm going to love these guys.
Yeah.
And as soon as I knew I was going to see them, I was like, I don't want to hear anything.
Right.
I don't want to know anything about them. And so I went in not knowing anything, but with a lot of expectations. With a name like Mac Sabbath, and Slayer McCheese.
Slayer McCheese is my new god.
Oh, like, he was so good.
Like, what does Jesus have that Slayer McCheese doesn't have? He has these giant tusks that come out.
Jesus doesn't have tusks.
Jesus doesn't have tusks. Does Jesus play the electric guitar? No, he does not. And Slayer McCheese is like bang, 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 but it's accentuated by this giant cheeseburger head.
Right.
And these giant tusks are flailing around, and he's shredding the whole time. And you're like, there's nothing better than this. Why would there be? How could there be? What's better than Slayer McCheese?
They were exactly what I expected them to be.
Yeah, and they totally rose to the occasion. Like, they didn't phone anything in.
No,
everything,
the whole time was like,
everything was 100%. If you're a Mac Sabbath fan and you found this through a hashtag, we're here to tell you that you're right about this.
Right, this is the other great clown band.
It's the other great clown band, absolutely. What about the people in line to see the band?
I have to say that the fans are just the most beautiful human beings. Just with you have people with flame red Ronald McDonald hair. Ronald Osborne.
Ronald Osborne, yeah, absolutely.
There was a guy in the head of the line. May I take your fucking order, motherfucker?
Yeah.
And he's got a red uniform on, collared uniform on.
Right, and it's got the logo on it.
The logo. And
he's got the hair. He's got the drive-through headset on. Like, he's ready to take your order, but on the back of his shirt it says, "Can I take your fucking order?" So great.
Lots of stripes, lots of clown makeup. The fans were there to throw down.
Yeah.
With the band.
Yeah, I thought he was their tour manager. I was like, obviously he's with the band. And he's like, no, he's just a guy in Fresno that the lady next to me is like, oh, he gets the best tattoos in town, by the way.
Best tattoo artist in Fresno.
I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm going to test that just yet. But
the Fresno Tattoo Convention is this weekend.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it starts tomorrow.
Okay.
And so they advertised this show as the pre-show for the tattoo convention.
Well, he was there.
Bloody well could be the best tattoo artist in town,
right?
And a hardcore Mac Sabbath.
But there was girls there with their like normie girls next to them that were like escorting them, and there was like, you know, I don't know, 19, 22-year-old girl that was in her clown makeup and like in her McDonald's janitor uniform that I was like, she was not missing this show for anything.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And the other girl that had the full Ronald McDonald, Ronald Osborne, like, get up.
Right.
It was amazing.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what she was dressed in was a yellow onesie with a bright red wig.
Bright red wig, absolutely.
The white iconic Ronald Osborne face makeup.
Like Faygo level face makeup.
Faygo, For sure. And then red and white socks cinched up with pushing the jumper up. Yeah. I mean, and that was the level a lot of the fans brought.
She didn't go to Walmart today and pick up those items. She had those items. That was a carefully crafted getup.
Right. That was a look.
This wasn't put together at the last minute to I guess I'll go see Mac Sabbath. It was like, I've had this for years. I can't believe they're finally in Fresno. And I was like, fucking A, shine on, you crazy diamond. I can't believe you're here. I love that we're all here together doing this.
And there was a pit.
Dude, the pit was bananas.
It was seriously a quarter of the room.
Yeah,
was slamming.
They were really going down.
They were fucking owning their shit.
Yeah. I've seen Mr. Bungle, Primus, New Year's Eve at the downtown Civic Center, Bill Graham Civic Auditorium. Those pits were crazy. There were pits among pits, and they would blend in together. And this pit was a real pit.
Legit.
Totally legit. I was like, I should get in there because I have dental coverage and I can recover from whatever happens in there.
Ironically enough, in my 40s when I pit, I'm the guy who's just slowly just hit me. Let's go. I don't have this. Look, I was the spaz in my 20s in the pit. I was the spaz guy, as fast as I can, flailing.
Totally.
And now in my old age, is the last one I went into was actually for the Valesha, which is the local band at Destruction.
There's a band I checked out. Downtown. Yeah, they were great.
In fact, I talked to the lead singer, and they're about ready to go on tour, and they want to come down maybe sometime in April and hang out and have cocktails and talk about.
I can't wait to talk to them
because they're about ready to go on tour with. Exploited, which is a major band. It's a big
name a punk band that sounds more punk than the Exploited. I'll wait. I'll just be right here, and you come up. I don't think you can.
Yeah, that's the last time I was in a pit, and I had a great time. I was like, oh my god, I am not 20 anymore. And there's these 20-year-olds going. And I was like, you guys have your fun. I made 3 reps before I was out of breath.
They have the day off from the gas station tomorrow. They can recover.
I miss dancing that hard.
Yeah.
And tonight definitely encouraged me to want to go back and do that.
It kind of made me feel like I wanted to do it too. It was like, if I had some no-dos and some mushrooms, would I be in there? Probably. Probably.
Okay, so I couldn't help but notice all night, looking up, they have a projector behind the Cat Burglar, which is the drummer.
Right. So he's Peter Criss from Kiss. And the Hamburglar.
Yes.
And that is just, it's so perfect.
It really is. So and he's got these little ears on his hat.
Right. And he has the Kiss the makeup on. Then there's the bass player who is not Grimace. I don't know what their band name is, but it's a giant purple guy, and he has these. I've got to
look it up because we got
we got to get the names.
We got to get
But he also had a chicken nugget in his hat that was also anthropomorphic, alive. So I don't know if the chicken nugget comes out from other shows. Then the guitar player was Slayer McCheese, which is the cheeseburger head with the giant fucking tusks that came out. And then Ronald Osborne. And he totally got all of the Ozzy Osbourne, he rocked out just like old Ozzy. Not like young Ozzy, like old Ozzy.
Okay, so if you notice that it's okay, so the name is Grim Alice.
Grim Alice, right? That's right.
And the hat is Alice Cooper.
Oh, is it?
It's like an Alice Cooper riff, right? There's the Cat Burglar, Grim Alice, Slayer McTrees, and Ronald Osborne. And I don't want to know anything about these guys. I don't. I want them to be as magical and as beautiful
larger than life.
Everything I expected for this show to be was true. It's exactly what you expect. You knew the showmanship was going to be there. You knew it was going to be over the top.
You didn't know the showmanship was going to be there until you're there experiencing him coming out with a giant straw and like mimicking a guitar solo with this giant fucking McDonald's straw.
Okay, so
when you saw him like snort like McDonald's cocaine with this shorter version, and they had like little helpers that were in the drive-through hats.
So the straw, you saw him pull it out. So he has a jumper on,
right?
He's got an Aussie jumper, and he unzips it. And it's probably the only time where I'm like, okay, he really isn't that much Aussie, because Ozzy's got he's got a hairy chest.
Right.
This guy was bald.
Right. But he had like
he's got the streamers and shit
that come down. And I felt like Ozzy did that at some point.
He did that back in the 80s.
Right.
That was the disco Ozzy.
It's such a super Ozzy.
But he starts
thing
pulling the straw, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when you guys set this up at the beginning of the show, because I saw the straw over the canopy and everything, and I'm like, oh, okay, so he's gonna pull the straw. But he keeps pulling the straw. The straw is twice his height.
It's 9 feet long.
It's twice as big as the guy. And he keeps pulling it. And I'm like, where the fuck did this straw come from?
So
he pulled a magic trick in the middle of the show, completely unexpected. This giant McDonald's straw comes, and it's like the straw's like this thick.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. Where did you hide that for the first half of the fucking show?
Right.
It was amazing.
So it was like I told you in the show, in Batman 3, with our favorite Batman, Val Kilmer.
Right.
The Riddler and Two-Face come in and they shoot up a bunch of stuff and they terrorize all the people, and then Batman comes in and he's cool as fuck. He crashes through the thing and he slides down on the thing and he puts out his cape, and the Riddler turns over to Two-Face. He goes, you know the difference between you and Batman? Showmanship. And it's like, these guys get it. The show was totally rehearsed and produced, and like you knew that they weren't just like firing off the cuff. They had this show down. They've been doing this for 15 or 20 years, as far as I can figure, like since the 90s probably. And it was amazing.
So behind the drummer they had a projector,
right,
which kept catching my eye because it's this really psychedelic 2 rings where you have Ronald and Cat Burglar, and then you have Grim Alice and Slayer McCheese on the outer ring,
and they're like counter rotating.
It was great. Behind them they have like the very trippy 1960s, because Black Sabbath.
Shut up, Siri.
Black Sabbath was what? That was late 60s, early 70s.
Late 60s, early 70s, yeah.
Right.
They're considered the nascent foundation of metal.
So Slayer McCheese had the very, I forget what the pattern's called, where it's kind of like a half circle and it comes off of the tail. There's like dots in the middle of it, and there's like ringlets of different colors and stuff. They all kind of swirl around. It
was like a super psychedelic, like Janis Joplin flowy.
Right.
Like
with this epic fucking metal Slayer McCheese hat.
But he had like the tusks coming off. When he would go like that, and this giant cheeseburger head is going like that, and he goes up to the front of the crowd, and he's just like guitaring all over them, and you're just like...
Their hands go up, and they're like rubbing the tusk. They're not... Nobody's grabbing him or being a dick. Everyone just kind of rubs the tusk in like a very spiritual...
Amazing. It felt like the Dalai Lama was there, and I was communing with him. But it was a cheeseburger head.
His eyes... He had googly eyes.
They're googly eyes.
And they're very hypnotic.
And he's
dancing like
oh, so great.
And then they put eyes on Grimace, and so Grim Alice.
So Grim Alice had the regular eyes.
Yeah, he had 4 eyes.
And then Ronald Osborne comes over and says, they always complain that they can't see, so I put extra eyes on them. So then they had regular eyes and googly eyes. And Grim Alice was shredding. It was so great.
So I have to give like bad credit. So I mean, of course, like everyone in the band's doing amazing.
Yeah.
And even the helper who's running out, and he's like a stagehand.
Yeah, like the fry cook or whatever, right?
Like fry cooker. He's getting into costumes and doing other stuff and being. Like,
he came out as the fry guy.
Right.
from the 80s, there were these like weird fry guys that looked like mop heads that were different colors.
Right.
And he came out as one of them, and he like flashed around, and you're like, where did the fry guy come from?
So here's the thing about the fry guy that I thought was really kind of cool. Okay, the fry guy had 3 horns on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and 2 of the horns were like Bamfas from Tusken Raiders. They were like on the side, like a Star Wars, and then there was a unicorn on top. I was like, what?
I think the guy that in front of us blocked me from seeing that part, so I'm glad you caught that part. But the guy in front of us was so
Drunk.
hammered. He was like, the way Jim Brewer is like, we got hammered at Metallica. Like, this guy got hammered
Right.
for Mac Sabbath. And I would just like start laughing and be like, I know, right? He was so fucking funny.
He kept bumping into me.
Right.
I'm like
Of course, because he's flailing around. He's like having this psychedelic experience.
His head's coming up to, like, so I'm sitting
No,
there.
he's shorter than me.
Like, his head was coming up to here on me, and he kept bumping into me.
Right.
And he kept looking back like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, this isn't my first rodeo, homie. You're good.
Right.
You're good. Look,
Right.
You're having a good time. You're not being a dick about
You're
it.
doing a hippie dance at Mac Sabbath. You're fine.
You're just feel you, bro. Just do
Right.
your thing. I love you. Go have fun.
I know.
But he was so hammered.
It was like the parking lot at the Grateful Dead show. Like, you're on 10 hits, and you didn't have a ticket to get in, but you can hear him from the parking lot, and he's just like...
He was drinking Budweisers
Yeah.
and chasing them with Modelo's.
He had to be on, I don't know, 35 grams of edibles?
As fluid as he was,
Right.
He didn't feel drunk to me.
No. It felt extra, didn't
He
it?
felt groovy.
Now, the only way one of us could know that is having experienced it ourselves. Not saying that we ever did.
Of course not. Neither of us have ever done anything.
I feel like I've seen
Buy
it
my
before.
book, Casper Suburban Scumbag, out now on Amazon.
Yeah, well, not a single thing in that book that I haven't experienced myself. Cheers.
Cheers. Shout out to anyone who didn't make it to the show tonight.
Man.
One of the big things that happened that I like really feel sorry for people is they played a song. It kind of felt like everything was over. Half the crowd left.
Mm-hmm.
Half the crowd left, and then they played the big number.
Right.
And it selfish of me, yes, but I enjoyed the fact that all of a sudden I had room to like kind of relax, and there's like,
Right.
and the guy that was standing in front of me who was kind of almost bigger than me, like he left, and I was like, there's nothing but shorties in front of me. I'm like, this is great. This is like front row,
That's
20
so
feet
great.
away from the stage.
Hell yeah.
And then they start playing. I look around and like everyone's gone. I'm like, oh, you guys left too soon.
Right.
You guys left way too soon.
So having played in a band, I've had this experience before to where we do this like pantomime to where like we pretend to go off stage and then the band says, yay! And then you come back on stage and you play the big hit that was on the radio. And everyone in the band definitely knows it's fake. And most people in the audience knows that you're just supposed to clap and bring us back out. It's like this ritual that we do. But you can tell in Mac Sabbath that the Grim Alice is so big that they can't get off of the stage and come back onto the stage.
Right.
So Ronald Osborne is like, hey, thank you, everybody, good night. And then they bring up the curtain for a minute, and you're like, well, they're going to play another song because Grim Alice can't leave to do the encore. So they put it back down, and Grim Alice, they do the 2 songs for the encore. One of them was Frying Pan, obviously. And then they did a couple other tunes that I'm sure I recorded on my phone, but I can't remember right now. It was so great, and the puns that they did.
I would have to say I would like to add for all the Mac Sabbath fans out there, if you are seeing a Mac Sabbath show, that you should be calling out at the end of the show, not one more song. You should be yelling out one more side.
One more side.
And I was listening, and I'm like, are they saying one more side? But no, everyone was like, one more song. And I'm like, I feel like we're missing a great opportunity to yell out here, one more side, one more side, one more side. That would have been so great. That would have been so great.
Fucking great.
Drive-through metal is everything.
Fries with that. Fries with that. Fries with that. Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
drive-through metal, they were talking about Dunkin' Donuts instead of Dunkin' Donuts.
Right. Zeppelin and out.
Zeppelin and out.
Right.
What was the Bon Jovi one?
Was it Cinnabon?
Cinnabon Jovi, right?
Right.
And they were like, these are all bands that, you know, we've had to compete with.
There was a guy in the audience wearing a pentagram jacket or shirt or something.
Right.
And he, like, handed something back to them that they, like, one of their props that fell into the audience. And he goes, thanks, pentagram cracker. Like,
Right.
and he goes, I'll say this off the top of my head. See how easy it is? It's just,
Right.
they just come to me and it's like,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
Yeah, it's totally great. Like, everything you hoped that they would have tapped into, they've tapped into it. They got it down. It was so great.
They had the giant Ronald Oswald inflatable arm guy.
Oh my
Which
god! I have a clip of that. I'll send it for the fans.
I have never seen anything like that on stage.
Well, I've never seen a custom built wacky inflatable arm tube band,
beautiful.
right?
At one point, the wacky arm's flapping and it flaps its arm and it goes over Ronald Osborne's
and he's
side.
like
And
on stage with them. He's part of the band.
He is part of the band. He's like the sixth member, and it's like, oh man,
so great.
They also had Mac the Moon came out and he played a little ditty.
Oh, Mac Tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this advertising campaign, and it was like Mac, and it was this Moon guy. He came out and did a tune.
Well, you know what the campaign was?
Mac Tonight.
Before
Mac,
but what they were selling was before that Mac the Night or Mac the Moon or whatever his name was came out with that ad campaign. McDonald's closed like at 10, 11 o'clock at night. He was their big ad campaign for 24 hours.
Oh, yeah, because I wasn't old enough to be like hip to.
It was the after
hours. I went to McDonald's
transition.
at 4. I didn't know that.
Taco Bell had one when the Taco Bell after hours, Saved by the Bell type shit.
Taco Bell could have been like, "Are you high? Come to Taco Bell," and everyone would have been like, "Yeah, cool, I'm there."
Totally,
no problem.
This sounds like a great idea.
This is what I was hoping for.
Hey, I'm gonna take a quick break. We're gonna get some more cocktails, and we'll be right back in just a moment. Cheers. And we're back. And
Your mom is back.
Your mom's back. Oh no. All right. So all in all, it was just a great time tonight. God, one of the issues with not knowing the band is I don't know the name of any of their songs.
Right.
And I don't know enough about Ozzy and Black Sabbath to know what they covered. I feel like they covered some. I think they did a Motorhead song.
They did do a Motorhead song, but they did Paranoid. They did Iron Man. So they definitely covered some Black Sabbath tunes.
Right.
And I have Black Sabbath on 8-track. I don't listen to it that much. Black Sabbath is foundational to the kinds of music that I love, but I don't go that hard in it because I've seen the Ozzy Osbourne reality show, and I'm like, oh, he's just a sad old man that gets told to do things he doesn't want to do. That's kind of how the Osbournes ruined Ozzy Osbourne for everyone that loved Ozzy Osbourne. It's like, oh, he's a dad that has socks on. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can do that myself. I don't need him. I don't need him for that.
I feel like the very first song was original to them, the GMO song.
Well, I bet it was a cover. I don't think they did much original stuff. I think but I really liked the fact that they changed everything to be fast food related. Like they didn't really stray from the theme. Like
from that motif.
Yeah, everything was a fast food metal. What did they say they were? Fast food metal.
It's
drive-through metal.
Drive-through metal.
Drive-through metal.
We might be the original drive-through metal band, but we don't want to open up for
Cinnabon Jovi.
Cinnabon Jovi. He had a Wendy's one, which Wendy's is one of my favorite shit-talking social media accounts.
Right, he was like, he did his pigtails up.
Pigtails. And
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, no, great show tonight.
Just well thought out, well planned, well executed, tons of theatrics.
They had 2 ceramic or plastic Ronald Osborne heads with laser eyes.
Yeah, we have a picture of it.
Opens its mouth and smoke comes bailing out, and lasers shoot out of his mouth, and it was like, oh man,
that was amazing.
And then he had these rubber chickens.
Yeah, during the Chicken McNugget song, whatever
And
one
go
that
over,
was.
and the chickens would suck in the smoke, and then he'd go over to the mic to start singing, and he would squeeze them both at the same time, so the smoke would come out of the chickens, like the showmanship.
Right.
The level of showmanship, like these guys are like, look, this is what we're doing.
Now let me talk to you about something for a second.
Yeah.
When you go to church, do they ever have that level of showmanship?
They
were like, read hymn number 435, the blood of the Lamb, and you're like, I mean, this is cool, but it could be so much cooler. And then you go to a Mac Sabbath show, and you're like, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
You know, I'm not Catholic,
right?
And I've never been in a synagogue,
right?
And I've only spoken to Muslim brothers before.
I mean, I've spoken in tongues a couple times.
But
I was tripping, bud.
As an ex-Mormon, which basically is like Protestant.
I was a reorganized Mormon, so it's like even less.
You know, the craziest things Mormons do is they dunk you in a bathtub.
Oh, I've been in that bathtub.
Right. Yeah. But there's no showmanship.
There's no fucking lasers.
Oh God, I'd pay anything for.
There's
lasers.
Nobody with tusks like shredding metal like this, and that's really what they need to get the flock back into the fold.
Well, okay, so that does bring a question because it was an all-ages show.
Because everyone there had a religious experience, in my opinion.
Okay, so
and it was way more people than had in the church I ever went to. It
is an all-ages show.
Yeah.
It's puns, it's parody. They really lean into it. Right. Massive talent, big entertainment value.
They worship at the altar of Yankovic.
But the lead singer has a giant golden cross over his heart. Is that a shout out to Ozzy, or is the like a Christian band? There is
I don't think there's any chance it's a Christian band.
It's so weird. It really is weird. It really is weird because
it has to be French fry related. I mean, there's no way that's not 2 French fries, right?
Well, it looks like the fucking Eucharist, and I'm like,
right.
And it kept throwing me off. I'm like, there's no way you fucking
I want
guys
the first person listening to this.
Is a born again band.
I want you to Google this and put it in the comments. Like, is it a French fry crucifix, or is it something else?
Look, they had Life Jacket, Youth Pastures opening up for them.
I mean, Life Jacket could have been Youth Pastors, absolutely.
Look,
like
ICP.
I used to drink beers, but now I'm holy.
Well, no, he was pounding PBRs up on stage. But look, ICP are born again Christians. Shangri-La album was all about Christ. And they wore white, and they did this whole thing. And so, like,
hey, I'm
ICP,
all about miracles. Miracles converted me to ICP.
Right,
I was like, what about magnets? How do they work?
But ICP has
it's electromagnetism,
like Mac Sabbath
actually.
is like, oh yeah, we're a born again band.
I don't want to slander them with Christianity, but I'm not saying it's not possible.
I just don't know. I don't know.
Nobody knows. That's why it's so provocative.
What does that mean? Nobody knows.
We're all provoked by it. Like we don't know how it works. We're not saying it's not that. We're also not saying it is that. I mean, it could be anything.
Oh,
bro.
God.
If you had been there, I mean, there's a laser show.
There's stuff I want to talk about that I don't want to talk about because
what
it's
about
like
the puke bucket?
The puke bucket is
right.
I didn't get what I didn't. Okay, yeah, second song. I didn't get what was going on.
No, nobody got what was going on. That was why it's so provocative. But so there was a sound like being cued by the sound man, and he like pulls up this bucket, and it's like blah blah blah, and you're like, okay, that's gross.
Oh right.
And then he carries around the bucket during the song, and then at the end of the song, he starts going to the audience, and he's like, "What about if I poured this on you?" And everyone's like, "Please don't do that. We're not that down for the cause."
But it was confetti.
It was like confetti, and he had ketchup ketchup and mustard bottles, and he was squeezing them, and something was coming out. Now, it wasn't ketchup and mustard. I think it was water.
I think it was water.
Right? Because he was spraying them on the audience.
As a singer, doing some of the stuff that he did.
Right.
If it wasn't water, it was like some kind of booze.
It was just diluted ecstasy, probably, right?
Right.
You're just spraying ecstasy on the innocent
Have some Molly, fuckers!
I mean, I want to be in that band, but I've never been in that band.
Right.
But I would definitely want to be in that.
He would go back and he'd be on the, he's like, and he's spraying it, and he would spray it till it was like coming out of his mouth.
Right.
And he would drink it, so it's like, oh.
Yeah.
If I was a singer... And
it's definitely piss then, right?
right. It's definitely bleach.
It's bleach or piss or bleached piss.
Right.
Probably.
But if I was a singer singing this type of music with the exuberance that he was, I would want something to cool my vocal cords down like halfway through the show.
Yeah, it'd be kind of nice.
And he
don't just want to pick up a beer; you like want to hit the ketchup and mustard.
Yeah, and speaking of beer, he did a Heineken through the giant McDonald's straw.
Oh my God, he did a beer bong.
Yeah, and it was all spilling all over the place. And he's like, "What kind of beer was that?" They're all Heineken. He's all Heineken. He's like, "I don't like Heineken."
Meanwhile, all of us are holding Heinekens and we're like, yay!
He's like, no. It's called Past Blue Ribbon. And everyone yelled out, PBR! And the whole crowd goes fucking wild.
Everyone lost their shit because Fresno knows how to party. Yeah. It was...
You know what's funny about PBR? Okay. So PBR has this emergence as the anti-Budweiser, right? Total punk scene, total underground.
Absolutely.
Because it was cheap fucking beer. You get the 12 packs. Hell, you get 30 packs for like $15.
Yeah.
That's 50 cents like a fucking beer back in the day. I don't know what they are now. I haven't drank that much PBR in volume. When I get PBR now, it's like I get a 12 pack for $5 or some shit, right?
Right.
So, but PBR used to be big before the Budweiser revolution of the 1980s, 1970s.
No.
But before all that, like the number one beer in America, like Budweiser was to be, we're the king of beers. Ha ha ha. Coors Light, the banquet of beers. Miller High Life. We're the champagne of beers. No, the number one
beer.
You
nailed all of those taglines, by the way. You got it.
Yeah, well, I drank them all. The number one beer in America before the 70s. And all these ad campaigns trying to revitalize it, was Schlitz beer.
Schlitz! Oh my God.
Everyone drank fucking Schlitz.
Schlitz was this huge ad campaign that you'd see as a child. Like, you know, I'm born in 73, so I'm 7 years old in 1980. Schlitz was fucking everywhere.
Schlitz used to be the number one
and they
beer
were,
in this country.
Their commercial was a pool table. It was dark. It was nighttime. Schlitz was not, hey, everybody, we're having fun at the lake.
Right,
Schlitz was like, hey, everyone, we're getting hammered at night.
Hey,
and Schlitz was the number one beer, for sure.
We're going to play pool.
Yeah.
There's going to be money on the table.
Yeah.
There might be a hooker working the bar.
Girls are watching, and we want to perform.
Exactly.
But that was Schlitz.
But Schlitz was the number one drink in America before before the whole Budweiser revolution.
To Schlitz.
To Schlitz. But here's the thing. By the time I was old enough to drink and everything, Schlitz is what you bought when you couldn't afford anything else.
Schlitz was like a 20-cent beer at that point. So me and my buddy...
Wait. You just said that, so I do want to throw this out there. It's a little economics for everybody. So when I was 18, 19, for $5, I'd get $5, right? Scrounge up $5. Right?
Yeah. Talking about couch money.
Couch money. I would buy a pack of cigarettes and 2 40 ounces.
And 2 40s.
2 40s. So a pack of cigarettes for $5. I got a pack of cigarettes and 2 40 ounces of Mickey's. Okay? So that kind of puts me on. Now, at one point, there was a liquor store in town called You Save Liquor.
You Save. I've been there.
They sold 32 ounces of Miller High Life.
Oh, the 32s of Miller is where it's at. Let me tell you about Jimmy.
87 cents.
87 cents.
Under $1. It was cheaper than $1. So there would be times where I'd be going to parties. And I would show up with a case of fucking 32s because they were cheaper than a 12-pack of beer. And Miller High Life, that's, it's not the greatest beer in the world, but it's pretty good. Hey, when you want to get fucked up with a halfway decent tasting beer, Miller High Life's the way to go.
When you want to get fucked up and you don't care what the beer tastes like, let's get some Miller High Life. So
look, I don't get this whole IPA thing. I don't have the taste buds for it. But let me tell you about Miller High Life.
I used to go to my buddy Jimmy's house in Sunnyvale, and Jimmy would say, "Don't come over unless you have a 32-ounce Miller High Life from the store that's right by my house because they have the coldest beer in town." And I was like, "Well, after I buy the beer and I drive it to your house, it's not as cold as it used to be." And it's like, "But it's colder than it would have been if you bought it somewhere else."
That's some smart thinking.
So Jimmy would make these little clay tanks, and he would like make the clay different thicknesses, and then he would put a cake cover over them, and he would blow them up in his living room while you were buying. Where are you buying from Jimmy? I don't remember what I bought from Jimmy, but it wasn't available at Walmart. So Jimmy was a Miller High Life guy that wanted the coldest beer in town. God bless Jimmy. God bless America.
God bless America.
Right.
Damn it. Look, I've never been a Budweiser guy. Like, the only time... Okay, here's the
no point in time where that was the best beer to get because it was the best tasting and the best price.
Right. Look, Budweiser... The only time I drank Budweiser is when I discovered that if you take... creme brulee. What is it? There is a like a liqueur.
Oh, really?
There is a liqueur. If you take a shot of the liqueur, take a bottle of Budweiser.
Oh my God, we're gonna do that on the next episode. Whatever it is, we're gonna do it.
I've got it right now. Because
Do you have Budweiser right now?
I have Budweiser. It's not ice cold.
I don't give a shit. We're gonna do one. Hey everybody, we're gonna be right back, and we're gonna do a hit of whatever fucking Steve just said.
We're gonna be right back. I'm gonna.
I'm doing that.
Let me describe what it is first
let's
to see what you want to do. If you really want to do this,
I really want to do it. I don't care what it is.
This is the whole reason why I have Budweiser in the house right now. It's the whole reason why
if it has gasoline as ingredient, I'm still drinking it.
So you get this liqueur, and we'll grab the bottle. We'll look at it, and we'll see what the name is.
Okay.
You take a shot of it.
Yep.
And you take a bottle of Budweiser.
Yep.
And it's a Boilermaker because it's liquor and it's beer, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a Boilermaker. However, you mix them together.
Yes.
It tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Oh my God, that's the best. That's the best thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
Made it.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay. So here we're back.
We're back.
Okay. So what we got here is
Di Serono.
Di Serono. Okay. Di Serono. Okay. And so what we've done here is we've got glasses of ice because the beer is warm, and I'm not going to do that.
Right.
This is vomit comet. If you do this all night long, this drink's going to make you sick.
No, don't do this all night.
But as a starter or one drink to like whatever, it's pretty good. So you get your Budweiser, right? Yeah, King of Beers, so good you twist the cap off. Yay! see, that's the great gift is that the reason why Budweiser is so famous is they invented the twist off cap.
One of my best friends, Mark, has this memorized. I'm going to recite it for you now. This is the famous Budweiser beer. We know of no brand produced by any other brewer which costs so much to brew and age. Our exclusive Beechwood aging process produces a taste, a smoothness, and a drinkability you will find in no other beer at any price. Now, Mark can recite this perfectly after he's been up for 4 days and he's had 100 of these beers. This is a famous Budweiser beer. We know of no other beer. He is so fucking good at it. And I've always been impressed by that, even though I knew it took hundreds of dollars of illicit substances to produce that result. Look at this. This is beautiful.
Right.
Can you hold it up so that they can...
The head and the glass and everything.
It's perfect.
Is it?
All right.
These aren't even my Pilsner glasses. I have Pilsner glasses specifically.
Oh, we know you do.
And they're Pilsner glasses from the 1970s.
This is a Glencairn, which is for great scotches, not for Fireball.
Okay.
But you've got all the right glasses for everything.
All right, so what am I drinking tonight? Because you're doing the Fireball. I ran out of gin, so I'm doing Tito's, because Tito's is a good substitute.
Tito's.
For aviation.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so here we go. I was letting the head
neither
go down
one
a
of
little
us
bit.
is really having our drink of choice tonight.
No, we're doing a party. We're partying tonight. We're having a good
We
time.
got closer at the club.
When you see Mac Sabbath and you have the...
When you see Mac Sabbath, you don't fuck around.
You don't fuck around.
You're not like, oh, I think I might have green tea tonight.
No.
Fuck out my face.
Get your fucking everything. No, tonight. Look, I don't know how much money you have in the bank account, but I'm pretty sure it's enough for a hooker. Here we go.
It's enough for Di Serono and Budweiser. I can't believe we're about to have this.
So I learned this from a piece of human garbage scumbag.
I have so many friends that fit that description.
Piece of shit. He's like, did you know you can take Budweiser and Di Serono and mix them together and it tastes just like...
Nobody knows that. That's not a thing that people know.
Except for punk rock pieces of human garbage who are like... I remember one time, I was like, I think it was 30, I think it was like maybe 31, 32. And he comes up and he goes, hey, look at my tooth. What do you think's causing that? And he had a single tooth that was rotting out of his mouth, right? And it was completely brown. I go, yeah, that's pretty bad. It looks like a rotten tooth.
Dead tooth.
He goes, do you think it's all the cocaine that I'm doing? And I'm like, yeah, maybe. Like,
I'm no dentist, but I'm going to go right for that diagnosis.
You know what? I think you might be onto something. It's either that or the smoking. It was the smoking, not the cocaine, but...
Look what I got. Di Serono.
Okay. You ready?
And Budweiser.
All right, here we go.
It tastes like Dr. Pepper. It tastes just like Dr. Pepper. Oh, shit. Dr. Pepper, Let me just get in my proper... Let me help you. It's not even Diet Dr. Pepper. It's like real Dr. Pepper.
It's like real Dr. Pepper. Yeah, no, really. It's not Pepper 23.
Right.
It's not Diet Dr. Pepper. It's not caffeine-free Dr. Pepper. It is like legit Dr. Pepper.
100 people tried 100 different recipes. And they're like Budweiser and the orange liqueur and Budweiser and this liqueur and Budweiser and blue curacao and Budweiser and all these things, and they all were terrible.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, we're so sad that we're experimenting all this. And then someday somebody said Budweiser and Di Serono. And everyone was like, holy fuck. Let's just have this all the time. And then everyone threw up afterwards.
Here's what's funny about Di Serono. It's a liqueur.
Right.
It's not a cream liqueur. No. It's not a mint liqueur. It's not an orange liqueur. Or it's not a cherry liqueur. It's an Italian liqueur. I didn't know Italian guys tasted like this.
Boppity boopity bippity boppity. Peter, you can't just say that and pretend that you're Italian. Boppity boopity bippity boppity. Que cosa? Seriously.
Okay, so
this is just like Dr. Pepper.
So, okay, you said que cosa? Okay, so when I first started working in food processing, I knew no Spanish. No Spanish whatsoever. And I was like the only white guy.
Well, que cosa is Italian.
Working the night shift with a lot of Latinos and all they spoke Spanish, and I got shitted on a lot, right?
Right.
However,
we all did.
However, I'd have fun every once in a while. I'd like walk through like the production plant. There's like I'm surrounded by 80 guys, right? And everyone's doing something. I'd walk, and I worked in the lab, and these were all floor guys working their asses off, sweating, packing boxes, filling jars, everything. And I walk by, and I would stop next to a guy, and I'd just go, "King!" And they would stop, and they'd look at me like, "Wait, fucking guy."
Yeah, when I worked in producers, I worked with all the guys there, and they didn't call me Kyle. They called me Cayuco.
Cayuco.
And they'd be like, I mean, you look hella like white, but come on, guy. Cayuco, right? And I'd be like, I guess so. Cayuco.
No, not Güero.
No güero. Cayuco.
No Güero. Cayuco.
Cayuco. Cayuco is this like town in Southern California.
Oh, okay. We used
But
to
it's
have
the thing that sounds most like Kyle that's not.
Right. There was Oaxaquita.
Oaxaquita.
And I might be remembering this wrong, but so we had this one guy. His name was Hoc. H-O-C.
All right.
And he was Vietnamese. He was like a short Vietnamese guy. And then we go, Oaxaquita! And what they were basically saying was, I learned later, was Oaxacan.
Oaxaca. Oaxaca.
Right, which was known for short, dark skin.
Right.
And they were all from different provinces, so they were calling him out as being a short, dark-skinned Asian guy. And he was like, yeah, sure, what the fuck ever.
Right.
And then he would say something, and I talked to a Vietnamese guy, and what is he saying? It was, he's basically calling him a faggot. But he's saying it in Vietnamese.
Right.
And so none of the Mexican guys knew what the fuck he was saying. I was like, I'll just keep that little secret to myself.
So when I used to work with this guy from Mexico City, we would listen to the soccer games in our delivery truck. And I would say, okay, you're listening to Las Pumas. What team am I? So I know when to cheer for, whatever's going on. Because so fast. And he goes, oh, you're Chivas from Guadalajara. Because that's where all the güeros are from. So the light-skinned guys in Mexico are from Guadalajara. So that was my team. So I went out and I bought a Guadalajara hat. So I would go to all the different furniture warehouses in San Francisco, and they'd be like, hey, you and that hat don't go together. What the fuck? And I'd be like, Chivas por vida, motherfucker! And they'd be like, all right, cool. We'll get you in the door. We'll get you loaded. Everything's like, cool, man.
You're one of us.
You're all right. So that was great. Yeah, I need to go back. I actually told that during my interview at the college, and they were like, all right, cool.
That's actually one of the things I miss. Like that. Okay, so like there is something to be said about the machismo of Latino culture, and
especially when you're in warehousing.
Like we're all working. It's a shitty situation. Right. It's hot and whatever.
Production
and the attitude and everything. There is like a brotherhood there of goofiness, and it's just like guys being guys.
Right.
And it's very rare in the modern world to where guys are just hanging out. I mean, we're all working together, being guys, telling dirty jokes and everything. And like, since I moved when I moved into management, like the things started to slide, and then as I was moving to different businesses and everything, I realized like I really miss.
Once you move up, you move out.
You really do.
You really do.
You really do miss the cigarette breaks and the conversations of just guys being guys. Yeah. Like, because at the end of the day, it really taught me like. At the end of the day, we all have the same problem. Right. Like, am I making enough? Do I got enough for the roof over my head? Food on my plate? Am I taking care of my family? And, like, all those concerns are fucking universal. Yeah. And once you realize all those concerns are universal, you realize all the jokes are the same. Yeah. They're all the same dirty jokes, no matter what language they are. They're always the same dirty jokes. Yep. They're always fart and piss and shit jokes. Well, yeah. And when someone spills something, everyone goes, "Oh, you dumb motherfucker!" Yeah, that's the shit. Like the dumbest guy in the room is still the dumbest guy in the room in any fucking language.
Right. When anyone drops anything, if you tell them, "Hey, pick that up," and they're like, well, I was going to pick it up, but now that you told me to pick it up, I don't want to fucking pick it up now.
Hey, let me just tell you, Butterfingers is universal.
And it's like, I need that tool to do my job. I have to pick it up, but you just told me to pick it up, and now I'm not picking up shit. Everyone's going to shut this fucker down because you told me to pick that up.
We're on strike. Why are we on strike?
We're all on strike.
We're on strike now.
The motherfucker said pick it up.
Pick it up.
Fuck you, bitch.
Fuck that. Okay. I'm going for a cigarette. Hey, Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. It really does taste like Dr. Pepper. Like, this is no bullshit.
kind of want to die inside just a little bit from it, right?
You really do. So this other drink that we have at my house sometimes. It's called German chocolate cake.
Oh God,
and
no.
it's
no,
vanilla vodka and Kahlua and fucking something else. And you drink it and you're like, there's no way that these flavors together taste like chocolate, right? And they totally do. It's 100% chocolate. There's no chocolate in the drink. It's not like chocolate liqueur plus vodka plus this other thing. It's things that do not add up to chocolate. You put them together, and it's
Tastes
fucking
like
chocolate.
right.
And we have it. And there's this other thing you add, and you like put sugar on a lemon, and you have it, and you do that, and you're like, it's 100% German chocolate cake. And that is as real as this, for sure. This is fucking Dr. Pepper.
Hey, chemistry, bitch.
Science, bitch!
Science! What? I don't know how magnets work, but I know how to make Dr. Pepper out of thin air.
Fucking magnets, how do they work? It's the same shit. It's science.
It's the same shit. So the only reason why I have Budweiser in my house and the Serrano is to make this for people.
Oh my God,
for them
it's
to go,
so
are you
fucking funny.
serious?
It's hilarious that this is even possible. Everyone should do this. Now, Disaronno, you might be able to get the little bottles to just do a.
So that's the only bottle we could find.
It's fucking giant.
Because the
This
first
is gonna
time,
last you until you're 80.
yeah, the first time I did this when I was a strapping 20-year-old stud, was I had the original tiny Disaronno bottle, right? And like one bottle had 4 drinks in it.
Like maybe we can order from Amazon or something.
Right,
because this is ridiculous amount of Disaronno.
I went to Total Wine. I'm like, okay, so this is what I'm looking for.
Are we gonna dunk a chicken in that shit? Like, why do you need that much?
Fucking yeah, that's all they had. They're like, oh, we only have that for the liqueur. And I still think it's funny. It's like, it's an Italian liqueur. Well, liqueurs usually have a flavor, so why is it Italian?
Let's make a smaller. Poquito.
Poquito. Muy poquito.
So, Mac Sabbath, they had lasers. They had
lasers.
They had costumes. They had the vocals.
Okay, what was he
piercing right
eating?
through.
What was he eating the whole time? Chicken nuggets? Meat? He kept putting shit in his mouth over and over.
It's disgusting, whatever it was. There's no way that it was some wholesome kind of vegetarian fucking tofu, right?
Right, I don't know.
He's singing about GMOs. He's singing about how horrible the fast food industry is. There's no way he's just putting in a fucking broccoli, right?
Right. I don't know what.
It's gotta be horrible.
They were these patties, but they weren't round patties. They were square and rectangular. I was like, what the fuck is he eating?
I could see from where I was.
At the end, he had these giant chicken nugget patties that he was eating.
I can only imagine that he's barfing right this second.
Yeah, okay. So, also for the fans, if you guys want to hop in for the vote, the employee of the month tonight was his birthday.
Right. So there's a guy with the drive-through hat on.
Okay, so it's February 25th. Is today? Oh no. So February 24th was the show. It was yesterday.
Right.
So because it is now 1:38 a.m.
It is 1:38.
So okay, so it's February 24th, the employee of the month, the drive-through worker's birthday. Right. Yay or nay, fans? You guys got to let us know. Okay. I say it's his birthday. Kyle says I'm full of shit.
There's no way it was his birthday. They do that at every show. If you go on YouTube and you look at their show tomorrow, wherever they are, it's got to be somewhere in the Bay Area because they usually go from LA to the Bay Area.
All I know is
I guarantee you that's that guy's birthday the next time they play a show.
All I know is someone threw cash up on stage.
They did throw cash up on stage. You could see it, and they're throwing dollars, and the guy got embarrassed, but he didn't say take it back. He kept it.
He kept it. He kept it. Which makes me believe it was his birthday.
Uh-huh.
Because if it was just for the show, that makes him a scumbag.
Oh, he's a scumbag. He dresses up like Ronald Osborne. He's not above bullshitting us.
No, that's not the scumbag. I mean, like the employee of the month who's like, "Oh yeah, it's my birthday."
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's.
I bet they did that once in Alabama, and it worked so well that they adopted it.
Look,
we
got paid for the show, but I don't want to buy drinks tonight. We'll make sure it's someone's birthday. We're like, "Hey, it's his birthday. Hand us cash."
It's his birthday. Like, I've never done that, but I wish I had done
that. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Like Dr. Pepper. I want to just communicate this to the people.
We had a great time tonight with Mac Sabbath. It was fucking fantastic. I had an awesome time. What a great day.
Yeah,
right?
Fantastic.
Really time. And tomorrow we get to go blow glass. Like, have you done that before?
I have not.
It is.
The people we're going with have done it before, but we're going to blow glass for the first time, and you'll see it on the next episode of
Gin and Scotch. But before we go, don't pass out now. Hit the like and share.
Please,
and share. For the love of God.
Oh my God.
Our entire well-being is for the like and share. Oh, God. You know what? I'm going to keep that in just to show everyone how desperately fucked up
my chihuahua might die if you don't click like.
My little petito chihuahua. He needs a lung transplant. He's so cute and furry.
You gotta help him.
Gotta help him.
All right.
You PETA motherfuckers better hit the like. Oh, fuck. All right, I think we're around the bend.